Hello world, Shelly here, and today I'm going to take a look at some new drugstore makeup. I have just about a full face of new stuff to try out. I'll show you how I got this look. I've got some stuff from NYX, I've got some CoverGirl, I've got some L'Oreal, I've got the new Lash Paradise primer, got some new concealer, got some lip, got some sprays, got some stuff. Let's check it out and see how it all works. I picked up from Ulta Beauty their brand moisturizing primer spray. This is vegan and paraben free and has hyaluronic acid for moisturization. Now remember, hyaluronic acid in and of itself does not necessarily provide moisturization, but it attracts moisture and attracts water. So if you do have a good moisturizer on underneath and you've got really good, moisture rich skincare, then hyaluronic acid is going to help to retain that moisture. If you don't have any form of moisture, it can actually pull the moisture out of your skin and make your skin drier. So make sure if you're using a hyaluronic acid product that you are also using a moisturizer so that the hyaluronic acid has something to attract. But I'm gonna try it because I do have good moisturizer on in my skincare. Nice sprayer, not, it's a little heavier of a spray than you would get with something for like a setting spray. Being a primer spray, you kind of do want it distributed all over your face, so I'm okay with it being slightly heavier because you're going to pat this in anyway. Ooh, it gives a nice sort of that nice tacky base that I like when I'm going to be putting on foundation because it gives it something to kind of cling to. Also in the primer category, why? Every time I spray, it's all over my shirt. Like, I don't know. Got from e.l.f. the Prep and Blur stick, and this is, I'm hoping, something I can use to give a little bit more blurring action to the areas where I've got enlarged pores and some texture, and right there. So I'm just going to kind of put this on my pore areas and my texture-y areas. I've been using a Laura Geller stick while I was in Ireland, the Spackle Hydrate stick, and I loved it. So I'm kind of in a phase of enjoying stick-based primer sticks. I'm getting a little bit of smoothing. This is not really as smoothing as the Laura Geller I've been using. It seems like it's got a yellow tint to it, but it doesn't really appear that way on the skin, so that's good, especially if you've got fair skin. I'm trying to minimize my smile lines and these pores just a bit. And with these kind of primers, you usually want to press them into the skin and sort of get them to fill in those pores and lines. It's kind of like a draggy, sticky kind of a texture. It's not as smooth as that Laura Geller. Of course, it costs nowhere near as much. I don't know. I'm just not really seeing the blurring. For foundation, this is not new to me. I have a review on this. This is the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation, and what I did was I bought it in a darker shade. If you saw my review, I will link it if you missed it. I loved the finish, and then I had a horrifically orange oxidation experience with the foundation, and the shade was a little bit too light for me, so I got a couple shades darker. This is shade LN3, so light neutral 3, and it might be a little bit too light for me now. I have a little bit of tan going on, but I'm gonna try it and give it another shot because it was so pretty that I really wanted it to work for me. And I'm not a huge fan of the doe foot applicator, but it's all good, it's fine. It's fine. Smells a little bit like paint. But the first couple times I tried it, it was so pretty, and the only way I could get it not to oxidize was to not wear sunscreen. And I never don't wear sunscreen, as you should never not wear sunscreen. But let's give it a go. I do have sunscreen on underneath this. I have the Make PREM UV Defense Plus. I've got it in my Amazon favorites. I will link that down below. This is a Sonia Kashuk sponge that came with that big giant sponge. It was like in a pack. It's a little too small for foundation, but I like this end of it, and I kind of want to be able to use that around my eyes, but I'm a little bit too lazy to wet 15 different sponges when I do my makeup. So I'm gonna deal with the fact that this is tiny. This finish is really, really, really pretty, and this formula feels really nice and like moisturizing, and it's just... Editing Shelly, please put a note on the screen about whether or not this oxidized. Thank you. For concealer, several of you recommended I try the L'Oreal Magic Lumi. This I have in the shade Fair. I couldn't tell if this was like supposed to be a highlighter. It's called a highlighter, but they have multiple shades. I looked it up online. It is meant to be used to conceal dark circles and to highlight the high points of the face. And they made a big deal about talking about how it neutralizes dark circles and brightens the eye. So I'm going to use it as concealer. Oh, it does have that nice sort of apricot tone if you have very purple dark circles. It does give some nice brightness. It blends out very nicely. It's got a nice sort of, again, a moisturizing feel to it. It doesn't really give a ton of coverage, so... Okay, back to my trusty Revolution Conceal and Define. I just need some coverage. I picked up a contour stick from Revolution. This is the One Sculpt and Contour Stick, and I'm quite nervous that it is going to be way too warm toned for my skin, but it is a cream stick product, so I'm going to put that on before I set my face, and we're just going to go very lightly. Ooh, it's so chunky that it's kind of hard to be precise. Actually, I kind of like the undertone. It's that like sort of rusty red undertone, so it's not exactly warm. It's definitely not orange. That could be okay. I'm going to set my under eye with the RCMA No Color Powder. I'm going to set the rest of my face with the Milani Prep Set and Glow Powder. I've got this in translucent. Don't have a new bronzer, so I'm going to use my True Match Lumi. This is the same as my L'Oreal Glam Bronze. They released the Glam Bronze. They've done it the last couple summers as limited edition, but this is permanent line product, and the colors are almost identical. So this is good stuff. It too has that nice reddish undertone, not orange. For highlight, now this is a finishing powder from NYX, but I'm not going to use it that way. It's the Holographic Halo, and it's this sort of blue shift powder. Oh, I didn't take the top off. So here, it's like this blue shift finishing powder. People on Ulta's website were recommending it as a highlight. Ooh, it's super pretty. I'm planning to do like purplish eye look. Oh, this is so finely milled because it is a finishing powder that look at how pretty that, oh, I don't know how it's gonna work as a highlight, but it's really pretty. All right, I want light application, so I'm gonna go fan brush. Oh, this is like super hella pigmented. Very pretty, is not emphasizing texture because it is so finely milled, and if you blend it into the skin, it is just a really pretty sheen. I don't know if this is the best color for my skin tone, but it's really pretty. I'm going to warm it up just a little bit. This is from the Wet n Wild Flights of Fancy collection. This is limited edition, but you can still get this at Ulta and Target and Wet n Wild's website. And I'm just going to bring a little bit of this in, maybe just under. Oh yeah. Oh, that's pretty peachy. This would even be nice as like a blush topper. Speaking of blush, totally Forgot my blush. I have the L'Oreal. This is the Paradise Enchanted Scented Makeup. This is in the shade Just Curious, and I'm not a huge fan of the peach scent, but it's super, super lightly peach scented. It's not as scented as like the Too Faced stuff. So I'm just gonna do a teeny bit. It's all looking really pretty, guys. Don't have a new eye primer, so I've got the Maybelline Master Prime. One of my favorites many, many, many moons ago. One of my very first YouTube videos a couple of years ago was comparing this side by side with the Urban Decay Primer Potion, and they are basically, this is essentially a dupe. It looks identical, it feels the same in texture, it looks the same, it wears the same. Save yourself a few bucks and use this one if you like the UD Primer Potion. Let's do brows. I always do brows last, and everyone seems to think that's weird. Like, you're supposed to have your brows on before you do your eyeshadow. I don't know. Whatevs. I'm gonna try it, though. I have the Maybelline Tattoo Studio. What is the name of this thing? Brow Tint Pen. And it's supposed to be 24-hour wear, does not transfer, does not smudge, natural look, hair-like strokes. I have it in dark brown, and it's got like a, it's kind of like the Kat Von D brow powder brush. See how it's got those tiny little spikes in it? So they show on the package people drawing upward for strokes. And then you can also use it to draw lines like that. See, I have this little gap on both of my brows where it's like indented in, and you know, I've actually been thinking of just having the taller parts cut down, but I don't want to lose the fullness of my brows. I don't know. So I just fill that gap in. This is a little bit too light, but they didn't have a black or ebony version, so not that I need black, but I need a really dark and a cool tone brown is what I tend to like. Sometimes the ebony will work if it's more like an ebony dark slate. I'm having to go over and over and over quite a bit, but I do like the look it's giving. It's a pretty natural look. So this isn't going to be your full glam brow. You're not going to make Instagram brows with this thing. It's kind of drying out as I try to do my other brow. I also have Brow Last from Physicians Formula, and this is one of those things where they give you like the paintbrush kind of a thing and then the spoolie on the other side. I'm not digging that whole product approach, but I'm going to use the spoolie to just sort of brush my brow hairs into place. For eyes, I've got the CoverGirl True Naked Dazed. Yeah, Dazed palette. Couldn't help myself. Comes with sponge tip applicator. Garbage. Actually, I keep them in case I find a reason to use them for something else, but look at these shades. So pretty. There's sort of a mix of finishes in here. We've got some that are more satin shimmer, some that truly have some glitter in there, some that look almost matte, but even the mattes, like these, this looks matte, this looks sort of almost matte. So you may need to combine this with another palette if you want, you know, true crease contour shades, transition shades. For what I'm thinking, I'm actually going to take my blush and use this as a transition shade on a Wayne Goss 03. I would not recommend doing this if you are concerned about things that are labeled as eye safe or not eye safe. I clearly am not concerned. I'm going to take my Sigma E25 and go into this orange shade and use this as a crease color. It's got a little shimmer to it, but doesn't look too much. Same brush, I'm going to take this purple shade and take it into the crease, focusing on the outer third. And once I've got that product down, I'll drag the rest toward the center. I'm going to take a flat shadow brush from BH Cosmetics and take this blue, and I'm thinking maybe we go, ooh, wow, holy pigment. There's the fallout. I go in with the shimmer purple, and I'm thinking we do something like a halo eye. Keeping that blue at the outer edge, just to give it that more darker purple blend. See how when they mix together, they turn into that blue purple? Now I'm gonna pack this green right in the middle. Ooh, fallout. And take my finger and do a dab of yellow. I'm gonna bring it all together. I'm gonna go back into that orange with a smaller blending brush. This is the Wayne Goss 19, and just pull the crease back together. There's not really a highlight shade in there, so I'm gonna go back in with the NYX holographic powder and see what this will do as an inner corner highlight. Whoa! Okay. That's pretty. For eyeliner, I picked up the new L'Oreal Lash Paradise liners. I don't know why they're called Lash Paradise, because they're just liners. They have a black and a rose gold. The rose gold's really not going to work with what I am doing today, but we've got black. Let's see what the brush tip looks like. Felt tip, okay. I don't know what's going on over here. So mine's like broken. There's a giant piece of plastic sticking up from it. Or is that dried product? I don't know. It pulled right off. Yeah, this is one of those like plastic tips, it feels like. It's got more firmness to it than a felt tip. Because of that, there's some drag, which some people like. I don't. This is a really dry formula, so if you have trouble with the really liquidy formulas, this might be good. Can't seem to keep enough product on there. Like it's just dry. It's all dried out, kind of. Alright, I'm not liking this. It's totally dried out. Like, I'm dipping back in. No. This is horrible. Physicians Formula, Ultra Black. I also picked up the Lash Paradise Lash Primer. So let's see what this does. Ooh, before I put that on, I want to try some setting spray. This is from Pacifica, the Crystal Power Hydro Mist for your skin and soul. Get glowing all skin types. It's a holographic bottle, but I don't think there's glitter. I've actually used this a few times and very much like it. It is vegan and cruelty-free. The powder and hopefully the fallout that might have come with it. Spray time. Now this has a super powerful mist, but it's not water droplet-y. Is that a word? 2 words? It smells nice, fresh. Alright, Lash Paradise Primer. It's pink. I don't know why. For mascara, there's a new one from CoverGirl, the Supersizer Big Curl, and I liked the regular Supersizer. Wasn't like holy grail, but it was a good one for me, and so I'm gonna try this Big Curl. It's got a very pokey wand with the old curvature thing happening. I probably should have done one eye without the lash primer to see what the heck it even did to my lashes. Mascara's okay. The wand is really big, which makes it a little bit awkward. It's so big I stabbed myself in the side of the face. So I like smaller brushes because I have an easier time maneuvering with them, but I do like the look that I got from the combination of the Lash Paradise primer. I think the primer made it look like I have a million lashes, and it kind of kept them that way when I applied the mascara, so the mascara didn't end up clumping or anything like that. So I like the look. It's a little less dramatic than I usually go for with my lashes, but I would say it's alright. I will keep trying it. For lip from Physicians Formula, I've got the Healthy Lip. This is a velvet matte sort of liquid lip. I have this this is the shade All Natural Nude. And here is the finished look. Final thoughts. I would say the Ulta Primer Spray with hyaluronic acid is a keeper. The e.l.f. Prep and Blur Stick is a pass. I like the Milani Prep Set and Glow Powder. I like the L'Oreal Paradise Blush. I think it's pretty. It's nothing, you know, amazing. I wouldn't run out and get it. But the smell is not too overpowering if you're not into fragranced types of makeup. I do like the Holographic NYX powder, but I would not recommend it as an overall, you know, finishing powder. I would think of it more as a highlight, but it's very pretty. I do like the CoverGirl eyeshadows. They have definitely improved their formula over time. I think there's a bit of fallout, but they're very pigmented and they did blend very, very nicely, but beware, take precautions for fallout purposes. The Magic Lumi Highlight Concealer Stick, I would say, yeah, it's good. I don't know. I don't usually go for the two-step kind of a thing. I will probably just go with something that has more coverage, but I blend it out nicely. If you don't need a ton of coverage, if you don't have a lot of purple, this did do a good job of counteracting that color. So if you don't need a ton of coverage, I'd say maybe try it. The L'Oreal Lash Paradise Lash Primer, I would say, yeah, pretty good. The liner, heck no, hard pass, yuck. The mascara, meh, it's okay. The Tattoo Studio eye pen, meh, it's okay. I think it's going to dry out too quickly. That would be my greatest fear with that. And I do like these Physicians Formula lips. They dry down to a matte, but they don't look super matte. They don't look dry. They don't show a ton of texture on the lip. So I do like these. I have a bunch of colors of these. Is that everything? Oh, of course. Definitely thumbs up on every Wet n Wild highlighter in this format. I love them. There you have it, a bunch of new drugstore makeup. If you want me to check out more new drugstore products, if you've seen anything that you would like me to specifically check out, leave it down in the comments below. Do you want to see a high-end version of this? I have a bunch of stuff that I picked up at Sephora, just random brands all being thrown on my face. Let me know in the comments down below. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this one, and please subscribe if you haven't already. I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern time, and as always, thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. I appreciate it, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.